It is time to bring Jesmon back again with a different version and build where you can even actually OTK your opponents out of nowhere. Jesmon fans, welcome back, and today we'll be showcasing the new way to play the deck that is surprisingly consistent than I thought. There is no need to play the Jesmon GX and Gankoomon X top end combo that most of us are familiar with. And instead, this time we're going to go mainly focusing on the Jesmon X Antibody only so that we can pull off a one-shot combo. Like always, I'll be showing you guys how it all works, but first, let's get right into the deck profile. Okay, like always, starting with Digi-8 cards, we've got the 4 copies of Gankoomon from BT8, and it mainly is to provide the inheritable for us of when attacking once per turn. If this Digimon has 6000 DP or more, we get to draw 1 card. Draw power is really crucial for Jesmon overall. Drawing means finding more pieces to make more plays, extend our combos, and potentially make really big plays. That's really what he is all about, and the 4 copies is really just all you need. Okay, so now let's quickly move into our rookies. As always, we definitely have to play the 4 copies of the BT6 Gankoomon right here. This guy is just super crucial for searching, on play, hitting the top 5 cards of your deck, adding yourself up to 2 targets with Gankoomon, Jesmon, or Systemon in their names, which you're constantly going to be hitting a lot of those, and this is the one you're always going to be want to hard playing instead of Digivolving in your stack, just because it also doesn't provide the inheritable, and yeah, being able to search efficiently and find your pieces with this Gankoomon is always the best Gankoomon of the deck, 100%. Then we got another 4 copies of Gankoomon from BT7. This one just provides the inheritable of when attacking once per turn, cycling through the top 5 cards of your deck and adding all Digimon with Systemons in their name among them to your hand, and then bottom decking the rest in any order is just going to be super crucial, really good. Finding Systemons is again very important for the deck, so you can play as many as you can as you're trying to do your top end combos and whatnot. And this is exactly the one that you always want to Digivolving your stack into because it provides that kind of inheritable. And then we also have one more Gankoomon from the Starter Deck 12. This one also just has a lot of versatility, but just as a one-off is always nice because it has a main effect in terms of your turn. Once per turn, when you play a Digimon with Systemon in its name, you get to gain a memory back. Kind of nice every now and then, but not super crucial or needed. But it also has an alternative effects where this inheritable is that when this Digimon has Gankoomon in its name or Royal Knights in its traits, gets extra 1000 DP. So yeah, extra DP is going to be crucial for swinging stuff every now and then, but you know, usually the Systemons provide you that buff instead of this guy, so you don't really need to have multiple copies of this particular Gankoomon. Did you guys know that Jesmon and Gankoomon are going to be coming back with even more support in the BT13 versus Royal Knight set? Once that set releases, I'm definitely going to be making an updated deck and video guide for these guys, so definitely stay tuned for that. And if you guys are just as excited, then be sure to subscribe, turn on that notification bell right away so you will know as soon as that video comes. Also, don't forget to give this video a like while you're at it because it greatly helps, and I really appreciate the support from all of you. Speaking of Systemons, let's move into our Systemons as we transition between our level 3s all the way to our level 4s. We only have the 3 copies of Systemon Blanc from the Starter Deck 12 Jesmon Starter Deck on play, trashing 1 card from your hand to draw 2, and it provides you the decoy black and red essentially, which is going to be super important for this particular deck. Just to jump ahead, we're not playing any blocker Systemons whatsoever, although sometimes I feel like I wish I had a blocker. This idea of this deck is really just all gas, no brakes. You're just trying to swing in as much as you can, and cycling and finding your pieces consistently is your utmost priority, and that's the exact same reason why we play the Systemon Blanc. And the decoy is going to come up very crucially to enable you to do your OTK combo safely as well, which will show you guys why she plays a very important role later in the combo segment too. But that's it for Systemon Blancs. Let's move into our Xiaos. 3 copies of the good old BT6 one, giving you extra 2000 DP all turns to your Gankoomon and your Royal Knights is always really good. On play, gaining a memory as well, so effectively like a 3 cost is always going to be super nice, and this is the one that you want to prioritize more because of its DP. Like I mentioned earlier, you do need DP to ensure you can swing safely with your top end combo as well. Then we got 2 copies of the BT10 one. Being able to extend your combos, being able to Digivolve on top of your Jesmon while you're attacking is really what she is there for. Once again, I'll show you guys how she all works with the combos later, but for those who never played Jesmon before, on play, it basically, one of your Digimon can Digivolve into a Royal Knight in its traits, and you want to be comboing it with your when attacking effects to bring her out usually. And then your turn once returned, when one of your Digimon digivolves into a Huckmon or in its name or Royal Knights in its traits, you get to gain 1 memory back, so it makes it very, very effective. It's almost like an X Antibody option for the archetype if you think about it specifically, and that's what she is there for. And then for the other system on Xiao, we definitely do play the Starter Deck 12 1-2 copies right here. This one's also very similar when it helps you cycle searching with her on playability, revealing top 3 cards of your deck, adding 1 Huckmon in its name or Royal Knights in its traits back to your hand, and then trash the remaining rest, which is going to be really good setup for you for sure. It gives you reboot, but you don't really need the reboot ideally usually, so this is why we really mainly play her for the searching capability, and that's really about it. Okay, so now let's move into our red level 4s. We actually only have the 3 copies of Bao Huckmon right here, digivolving for 2 and giving the inheritable of all turns, while this Digimon has Royal Knights or Huckmon in his traits, gains extra 1000 DP, and that's really all he is there for it, and that's it. And then moving into our main level 4 red Digimon that you must play 4 copies of no matter what is the Starter Deck 1 Greymon right here, digivolving for 2, and it provides the simple inheritable of gaining security +1, and this is very important. You want to always be seeing this particular guy in your stack when you're building it, so then you can pull off your OTK combo potentially, which is super crucial because it gives you that extra damage that you need to security, and you can really, take advantage of it with this deck in particular, so that's why I play the 4 copies of it no matter what. That's it for our level 4s. Let's talk about our level 5s. We still have the best Savior Huckmon from the Starter Deck one, which we definitely want to play 4 copies of. In this one in particular, when digivolving, you're allowed to attack unsuspended Digimon for the turn, which is always nice. But with its inheritable, it lets you play a Systemon from your hand or trash when attacking once per turn. And that's super crucial, again, to help you bring out your Systemons, which is going to be super important for your combo pieces, as always. And yeah, this guy is just super needed in the deck 100%. It's mainly your main level 5 that you want to build your stack with for sure, and you don't always need to utilize its when digivolving effect as much, but if you can, definitely go for it if you ever want to do so. Then we still got the 1 copy of the best Savior Huckmon, which is still restricted down to 1, is the one originally from BT6. When digivolving, letting you play a Systemon from your hand, which is always value, and then it's when attacking inheritable effect, letting you unsuspend if you do have a Digimon with Systemon in play. So it's very easy to meet with the conditions, and yeah, being able to play multiple copies of this is super strong, and that's why I still wish to have, but unfortunately, like I mentioned, we all know this guy is still down at 1. Then maybe one day he might come off the list. Who knows? Last but not least, for all the level 5s, we actually have to play at least the 3 copies of Chimeramon. This is super crucial because this is going to be important for your OTK combo as well. You guys will see and understand, and this is exactly the reason why we play a lot of level 4s in our deck, and that is so that we can digivolve and DNA digivolve specifically into this guy, which is exactly the reason why we mainly play a lot of Systemon Xiaos particularly, and again, can't wait to show you guys why he's really crucial piece to help you extend and finish off that OTK. That's it for our level 5s. Let's talk about our level 6s. Of course, definitely, we still need the Jesmon from the Starter Deck originally. 3 copies of this guy is great. Even though it costs 4 to digivolve, he does so many things for you because it gets blitz, it gets when attacking, letting you play a Systemon from your hand for free as well. And when you do play a Digimon from via an effect this turn, you get extra 3000 DP and security +1 to help you do more damage. Again, reaching that lethal potential is really what you want to do with this guy. And yeah, gaining the DP as well. Really important for sure, and that's what he is, your core level 6 that is all about. Now, of course, we still then have another secondary level 6 that we want to get into now, which is Jesmon X Antibody, and we definitely want to play 3 copies of this guy. This guy is actually also the very core main of the deck. If you can't get into Jesmon normally, getting into this guy is just equally just as good. He can digivolve for 0 on top of Jesmon, which is ultra value. He has piercing by itself. When digivolving, it lets you play 1 Digimon card with Systemon in its name from your hand or trash for free. Then, if Jesmon is in its Digivolution sources, or you have a Systemon in play, until the end of your opponent's turn, all your Digimon will also be allowed to attack unsuspended Digimon and gain extra 2000 DP. And keep in mind that that lasts until the end of your opponent's turn, so giving more extra DP is just super crucial again, and being able to pierce as well. He is actually your main boss Digimon of the deck essentially for this deck, and yeah, him either or Jesmon is always going to be super nice. But once again, I'll show you guys how it all works with this guy right here later in the combo segment too. And then last but not least, for all of our Digimon, we definitely need to run 2 Blitz Omnis because it is a game finisher. Also a very important piece to our combo. And again, which we'll show you guys later, because of its when Digivolving, it's Blitz and it unsuspends as well. So you can make that extra swing to finish games. That's really where he is for the deck. That's it for all of our Digimon. Let's just jump straight into our options with no tamers whatsoever. 4 copies of From Master to Disciple. For the 2 costs, you are gaining a lot of value and so much memory efficiency with this card because it reveals the top 3 cards of your deck, searching for yourself 1 Huckmon or Systemon or Royal Knights, grabbing one of any you want among the 3, and then you trash the rest. And trashing stuff is always good for this deck because you can utilize as an extra resource to bring out your Systemons as well. It has a secondary effect of main delay that next time one of your Digimon digivolves, you get to reduce the Digivolution cost by 1 by basically sending this card from the battle area into the trash, which you always have this guy in your battle area because as well with its security effect, it does exactly what the main effect does and then places it into the battle area right after. So you always want to be collecting as many of these as possible, play them as much as you can so you can rack them up and then you can go for your big turn combos, and that is what it is all about. Other than that, a very similar card and also one of the best red staples out there. 4 copies of Red Memory Boost is exactly why you also need to play in this deck so you can search more and gain memory so you can go for your big turn combos. We don't need to rely on tamers necessarily to get into our combos. That is because we have Red Memory Boost and From Master to Disciple to help us get there, and it's going to be super crucial. The more we rack up, the even bigger value, and we can go for that big turn combo, and that is really what it's there all about. Alright, that's it for the 50 card main deck. There are no any other cards I would personally suggest to add in for this particular Jesmon deck because the full combo and the whole idea is to try to OTK your opponents, and this is the most consistent way I really feel so to basically work with it. But if you guys have any other suggestions, let me know in the comments down below. So let's get into the game plan. Early stages of the game plan. Of course, you hatch your egg. You want to be building your perfect stack. So in order to find your perfect pieces, play your Red Memory Boost. The more you can play them, the greater it is for you to search. Play your From Master to Disciples. The more efficient memory one, which is always fantastic. And again, playing more is always really, really good. Don't be afraid to let your opponents chip you down your security or maybe even take out all your security because potentially, chances are you're going to see like 1 or 2 copies of these from security, and the more you can rack up before you can go for the combo, then that's absolutely fantastic. Of course, playing your Huckmons. This is always the one you want to hard play so that I can search for more pieces and whatnot. The one that you want to be digivolving would be the BT7 one right here, or otherwise you could digivolve into the Starter Deck 12 one as well if you ever see it. So depending on whichever you see first, digivolve into that. But this only we have 1 copy of, so you're not really going to see it that often. But anyways, you want to hard play some of your Systemons, such as your Blanc, to trash cards from your hand, search for more stuff. Play this Shield. Again, it searches you for stuff as well. These are the Shields that you want to be playing, and these are all the cards that you want to be hard playing in the early stage of the game and nothing else. Then you want to be digivolving into your Greymon inside your stack as well, and then this really depends on how much memory you have to work with and what your board really looks like towards later on. If you have a lot of these cards set up right here, then great. You can then digivolve, save your Huck in the battle area by pushing it out, but if not, mostly, I actually like to stay in the raising because I don't really necessarily need to swing over unsuspended Digimon per se for the combo because you're going for your opponent's security. You're not going for the Digimon. Keep in mind with that. You really want to just have this guy as your inheritable, which is most ideal. And otherwise, then once you're ready to go, you can only just need to be at 1 memory, and that's all you really need. And let's just say your opponent does clear your board a little bit and you have these different kind of Systemons, and it really depends. In usual cases, you're always probably going to have at least 1 memory boost and 1 from Master to Disciple, and that's really all you need. The more you have, the better it is because then you can extend your combos to go for even crazier plays. But let's show you guys how it works with just 1 and 1 each, essentially. Let's move this up. Let's just crack all of these. You crack the Red Memory Boost to gain 2 memory. You crack them from Master to Disciple to basically reduce the cost of your Jesmon by 1 when you're getting into it. So now you're going to pay the 3 memory to digivolve into this Jesmon right here. Remember, the reason why it only costs 3 instead of 4 is because you cracked them from Master to Disciple. If you didn't have from Master to Disciple, if you have an extra memory to sort of gain from another Red Memory Boost earlier on, that's how you want to be doing it. It's a combination of any of these 2 cards that will give you to make sure that you can retain your turn after going to Jesmon, because now it's going to be really important. You're going to swing and activate a whole lot of effects. Usually for Jesmon, I like to resolve from bottom to up to make sure that I'm always hitting all the effects efficiently. And that's the most ideal way to do it for beginners, I would say. But if you're more advanced players, resolve whichever sequencing order you need to based on the situation. So let's go for bottom first. Gurimon, you draw 1 because you're 6,000 DP or more. Then you cycle your top deck for 5 cards with Huckmon to find yourself as many Systemons as you can. You want to find yourself your Systemon Xiao, you want to find your Systemon Blanc, and these are, again, the four different types of Systemons you always want to be seeing. Security +1, save your Huckmon lets you play a Systemon from your trash or hand. Now, the Systemon you really want to be starting to playing first would probably be the Blanc. And this is particularly why it helps you cycle for more cards, and you can potentially play another Systemon with Jesmon from your hands effect. The other one that you want to be playing would probably be this particular Xiao. If not, you can definitely play this one, and this is when you can extend into your Jesmon X Antibody play. So let's just say you do play this one in particular, and then you get to immediately on play digivolve it into a Jesmon X right here. Jesmon X is going to let you play another Systemon here at this point, and this is the third Systemon Xiao you want to be seeing. You want to at all times make sure you have 2 Systemon Xiaos, which are your level 4s on the board for this particular combo. Right here, you're going to be swinging in for essentially 3 checks with Jesmon X Antibody. With 3 checks goes through, if there is any security bombs that would threat your Jesmon X Antibody, such as deletion effects, this is exactly the reason why you play many copies of this Systemon Blanc, is because it gives you the decoy and the protection if you ever need to. So if you're going to run into Gaia Force or something like that, or Hades Force, whatnot, this is when you would use the Jesmon Blanc to protect it. Now, of course, this is not foolproof, because if you run into multiple copies, then it's going to be like doom for you. But usually, mathematically, you should be able to go through with this combo no matter what to do the 3 checks. Now, at this moment, what you want to be seeing is your Chimeramon right here. Very, very important, and that's the whole reason why we play so many copies of it as well, is because at this point you can DNA with your Xiaos because they are played this turn, so they can't attack, but because you DNA'd into Chimeramon, it resets all those thresholds. And what Chimeramon is then going to do, you're going to want to be grabbing yourself, ideally the Greymon from Starter Deck 1, and tuck it underneath, so now your Chimeramon can swing for 2 checks at 8k, and hopefully it survives. Now, if it does survive, this is when you basically finish the game. You just play the 4 memory, go into your Blitz Omni, and finish your opponents off just like that. Now, this is like the perfect, most ideal combo, which does require a lot of setup sometimes, and it does require you to meet certain conditions, such as your Chimeramon not being deleted from security, your Jesmon X as well. And this is why it is not always vital to have this Greymon, particularly because in the early stages of the game, like I mentioned earlier, you may have played your Systemon Xiaos or your Blanc, or even your Huckmons, and you want to use these guys to chip away at your opponent's security. No need to have them stick on the board and just digivolve and whatnot, because they already serve their purpose once they're on play. So go ahead and chip away your opponent's security. The more you can chip away, the better it is, so that you can set up for that lethal combo as well. This is the most optimal OTK combo it can pull off if everything comes online correctly, but you don't always need to go for the OTK combo, because like I mentioned, if you chipped away, then Chimeramon can tuck something underneath, and it doesn't really matter what it is, and then it just needs to make 1 check and survive, and then again, you can just go into your Blitz Omni to go for game, and that's basically how you win with this consistent new way of Jesmon and Jesmon X Antibody Deck. Now wrap up for the deck profile and guide for today. If you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful, please give it a like. If you have any suggestions, recommendations, or questions, be sure to share it with everyone in the comments down below. If you guys want to see some Jesmon and Ragnarlordmon action, then be sure to check out the battle series with Domix and I playing against each other right now. Links will be left in the description box down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you in the next video. It is Avault, signing out.